All right, we should be good now. Let me repost this. All right. What trade did you take, Mario?
So it was on Thursday. I took a IWM at 10:30.
My
I
time or
was
your
on the
time?
5 handle, and I had puts, and it stopped me out because that's the thing. That's yeah. This is my that was my first time doing options ever since we talked about it,
Oh,
and I just stuck with paper trading. But then I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to go back to. But then yeah, I don't like it just because like the Greeks and then like everything. And when it pulled back, it stopped me out. And I mean, I knew if I stayed in it longer, then the data would ate me up.
definitely. Yeah. Once you get a taste of that no Greek life, it's hard to go back to options.
Amen.
I got in at 288.86, and it stopped me out at 229.40, and that was at maybe what 10:45. 15 minutes
10:45 my time or your time? I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah, me too.
So 10:45.
Yeah.
So you got in pretty much on this big drop.
Yeah.
And it was for puts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a losing trade or a winning trade?
Yeah, well, no, it was a losing trade because I didn't get out when it pulled.
Gotcha. What made you stay in the trade after the big drop?
Yeah, honestly, me thinking that it was going to go down more. And I had 2 contracts. I should have just took one off and then just let the other one run, but I didn't.
Gotcha.
Just got myself, yeah.
Yeah. You know, just a reminder, we always trim profit because even if it may head lower, we still want to secure some green, right? Because regardless of what we think, the market can just do a 180 on the spot and just go immediately against us. So, like even my trade earlier for the orb on YM, even though it hit 100 points later on, I took my 50 points and called it there. And if it did keep on going, hey, great. But we still want to always protect that money because, as Brown always mentions, that's our money, and we're letting our money go against us, or have it taken away from us. So
yeah, can't let that happen again.
Mm-hmm. So something to add to your journal, and maybe one of your rules. Regardless of what I think, follow the trade plan.
Okay.
Cool. What did he say?
And I was gonna take the orb on QQQ, but ever since I lost that trade yesterday, so I mean I'm not getting into that no more. But today it did really good on the 15-minute orb.
Let's see today. Oh yeah, that thing was just straight up.
Mm-hmm.
She's almost 3 points or $3. Yeah. Not bad. Yeah, whoever.
But no, I'm done with options. That's it. Through with options. I run journal as a thing. That's it. I'm done with it.
Did you get used to trading futures?
Yes. It's like the points is a lot different compared to options, but like I don't have to worry about like all my Greeks. So that's what I like more about it.
Definitely. Just getting in, getting out, set your take profit and stop loss, and go about your business.
And then it's like with the expirations, and then like it gotta to break even, you gotta have a certain amount. With that, it's like you don't have to go through all of that. That's what I like also too. Because that's a lot of reason why I stayed. Like that was one of the reasons why I stayed in that last trade, because like my break even was like I was up like $30, but my break even was like 15 cents away. So I was like, oh wow, I think it'll go 15 cents away. But that's why I stayed in the trade, because my break even was like 15 cents away.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Cool. How was everybody's month overall?
I don't know, mine was pretty good.
Definitely pretty clean action for the first month of the year.
Yeah, I probably had like one or two like days where it got stopped out, or like each week that I either got stopped out or I just didn't see something that I liked, so I just didn't do anything.
Yeah, that was me the second, the third week. I think it might have been last week, most of it. I took maybe like 3 trades. I wasn't feeling good for like half of it. And then the other half, just nothing really good appeared for futures anyway. I took like maybe 2 futures trades last week and like 2 or 3, or like I think 1 to 2 options trade, and then 1 to 2 futures trades. Nothing too crazy.
So on your option trade, you usually like you stick with Tesla, or you got like a couple of different ones that you like using?
No, I mainly just stick with Tesla for today trade. If I am swinging something, it's usually not something that I find like on Sundays when we go over the watch list. But other than that, pretty much just Tesla. And even if I am swinging, it's pretty much just stocks that I traded in the past, because transparency, I'm a little lazy to like kind of analyze a whole new stock to swing. So I kind of just, if I see something that I traded before and I already know how the contracts move, I'll just trade that. Like, Baba, Oxy, CVS, and probably some others that I can't think of right now, but those are some that come to mind.
Right.
McDonald's, I definitely don't swing. I don't like the contracts. I think the spread is like $15 to $20. At least last time I traded it. I'm not really a fan of bigger spreads on contracts, on option contracts.
Do you ever trade crypto?
I mainly invest in it. I don't necessarily trade it actively anymore, because it messes up my sleeping schedule, and then it'll mess up my New York session trading.
Yeah, it's definitely volatile. I was just looking at it a little bit today. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, you definitely have to be able to stomach those big pullbacks, because you could be up like 30% one day and down 40% the next day.
Yeah. Bitcoin did a big drop, which I was just like, I'm just looking at it and seeing like, if the things that I learned, like concepts wise, if it worked for for that, and just looking at, for the most part, like like the H's, it made like the H, then it put back, and then it did like another H. But some things it does work, but I don't know. I'm gonna just stick with what I already know right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, obviously, for everybody, their trading system and journey is different. I just like to keep things simple. Just one thing for futures, one thing for options every day, and that's it. Anything more than that, it just gets a little too overwhelming personally. So Phil, I caught the end of it where you like did something with your stop loss. I know it was IWM, but you did something with your stop loss, and you were asking if it was like a psychological thing, which the answer is probably yes. But type it out, and then we'll go over it, and I'll give you my feedback on it. Also, reminder for those who haven't signed up, assuming you're not in my group, since you're going to get the recording. If you're not in my group and you haven't signed up yet, this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, going to be going over the playbook masterclass. Going to be going over all my setups in excruciating detail, or at least as much as I can think of anyway.
Hey, Advent,
Yep.
do you trade futures only in like the New York session?
Yeah, I don't really trade futures any other time because I don't really want to sit at my desk like in the afternoon when I'm like doing other things. So usually I kind of structure my day like, the first half until like noon or 1. It's like trading, and then lunchtime until 1. And then I'll do like personal projects until like 5 or 6. And then from 6 to like 9, I'll have like one-on-ones and things like that.
Okay. I know because Asia usually ranges, so
Yeah,
that's why I use this practice at
Asia
on the
is
Asia session.
pretty slow for me. New York is like a
Yeah.
happy medium. It works out because I'm in the East Coast as well, so 9:30 is 9:30, as opposed to those living on the West Coast that it's like 6.
Yeah, I'm on the West Coast, so
Bless your
but at least
soul.
I can get it done before work. So
Yeah, that is a good thing as well, because for those on the East Coast, they have to either do it while at work or trying to do something to make it work out. Like when I used to work at my old job, um, it would get slow in between clients coming in, so I'll just be on my phone, and then when they come in, I'll just put it away. So it worked out. But for those who do like more labor intensive or like more things that need more focus, it could be a little challenging. But
yes, it is.
Asia, all of the sessions work. I know people who trade each session and they do fine. You kind of just have to get a feel for how things move and things like that.
Okay.
All right, you took IWM calls off the 15-minute 2-2 rev at 10 a.m. Let's bring this up. So I'm going to assume you mean this 2 down, 2 up reversal. I'm also going to assume that your stop loss is under the hammer. You can confirm that. At 10:30, a lot of sellers started coming in. Yeah, around this area over here. Where were you targeting? Like, where was your targets? Previous day high. So pretty much targeting this high over here. And it went about $1 in your favor. So moving your stop up as the trade progresses in your favor isn't necessarily a bad thing. We kind of have to break it down, right? Was it hitting some other targets that you had, and that's why you were moving your stop up? Or were you just moving your stop up just because you didn't want to give money away, or because you were focused on the money? Like, what's the idea behind you moving your stop up? You just want to maximize your trades. Well, technically, preemptively moving your stop loss is not maximizing your trades. So it really depends on the context, right? Like for the 15-minute orb that I took on YM today, once it hit my first target, then I move my stop loss up to above break even. So if it does come back against me, I still leave with something on the second contract. Now, if it's about to hit my first target and I'm moving my stop loss, that's bad, because I'm messing with the trade before even is confirmed that it's a winning trade or even a losing trade, right? So in your case, it really depends on how you trade, right? Generally, for IWM, remember, you got to take ATR into account, right? ATR is about $3.70, give or take. From that entry to previous day high, that's about $1 and change, $1.50 almost. So pretty much like 35, 40% of its ATR. So you need to understand that with what you were looking for, you wanted almost 2/3 of its ATR, or rather about a 1/3 of its ATR for your first target. I probably wouldn't do that. I'll probably take profit every 75 cents that it goes in my favor, especially with IWM, because this target is pretty far. That's $1 and almost $1.50. That's a lot for IWM to move. And it's Friday. I'm assuming you're trading 0 DTE. So you don't really want to be holding it that long. Like, even though it hit the target later on, it pretty much chopped for like 3 hours. So in this specific sense, sure, it might have hit your target, but the contract might have been cooked because data. Oh, if you got Monday contracts, yeah, you were probably better off. So to answer your question, is that a bad thing? It's really based on context. So if you were following your plan and just part of your plan to, move your stop up and things like that, hey, great job. Now, if you moved it preemptively before it even hit your target or stop loss, then yes, that wasn't a good trade or something good to do anyway. Great job on that 100% trade, though. Also, I forgot, I think like Lou was his name. Before the first stream got cut off, he asked me my return on that Tesla trade. It was 30%. And the contract went from about 390, 395, and I got out at about 5.10, 5.20. So about 110, 120 bucks per contract. Yeah, you shouldn't mess with your take profit and stop loss until it hits one of them. Again, it depends on what you're looking to do, right? If your first target, if I'm in this trade, my first target is this buy, is this like wick or this candle right here, and then previous day high, and my stop loss is under this hammer, I'm not going to do anything until one of those hits, right? Because anything that I do in between that happening is just me getting in my own way and your own thoughts self-sabotaging your trade. So something to keep in mind. And if that does happen, literally just set your alerts and just go do something else, because you looking at the trade or the chart is not going to do anything for you. It's not going to make it go faster. It's not going to make it go slower. I think yesterday that happened to me, where I took a breaker block, which I'm still getting more comfortable with. And I wanted to mess with the trade so bad. Like every inch of my body wanted to move my stop loss up. But I just got up and walked away and just let it do its thing. And it hit my target, about 8 points on M2K, which is fantastic, at least for me anyway. Well, that's the thing. You got to ask yourself, whether I sit here or not, what does the chop have anything to do with the setup? It is what it is. I'd rather go do something else than sit through 2 hours of nothing. Yeah, so with the chop, assuming you didn't see that, you sitting there looking at chop is not going to do nothing for you. So just set your alerts and just wait. If you get triggered or emotionally triggered by the chart, then just stop looking at it. You can't make it go faster. You can't make it go slower. Also, if Jocelyn is in here, let me know about your Bitcoin trade. You gonna say something, Mario?
Yeah, I was gonna say now that is one thing that I've learned too. Like when I get into a trade and like I like for it to go straight to my take profit, but of course it may not always work that way. So when it start to do that, then I just walk away because it's hard for me to just sit there and I be wanting to mess with it and but I'm gonna get out now. I'm getting out early. Yeah, I had to learn that.
Mm-hmm. I've been there. I was king mess with the trade until I notated how much money I gave up by doing that. I think it was like $10,000 in profits that I let go. And I'm like, yep, I am not doing this anymore. I still get the urge to do it because, I'm human. I'm not perfect. But
Yeah.
it's easier. It's just like a muscle, right? We just have to work it out and it gets easier over time. Also, for those just coming back in or coming into the stream, whatever trades you want me to look at, put it in the chat so I can review them. We got about 12 more minutes because I have a session with a student at 8 p.m., which is 14 minutes from now. So whatever other trades you guys want me to look at, please put it in the chat so we can review it together. You wanted to decide if you should get in or out based on constant analysis. Well, remember, to me, once I get into the trade, that's the trade. Constant, like, sure, there could be moments where, let's say, for example, for like the TTO, right? The TTO should just go straight and complete the TTO. If it reverses before it completes the TTO, the probability lowers of that happening. Whoever is true and just said AMD in the chat, I'm going to need a lot more detail than AMD. Was it an equity trade? Was it an options trade? Were you long? Were you short? When did you get in? What time frame did you get in? Was it a win? Was it a loss? How much did you pay for the contract? How much did you get out when you got out for the contract? I'm going to need more detail, please. All right, AMD chart is up. Let me get as many details as you can give me. You got in after hours at 116, just shares? You got in 116 like today after hours or yesterday after hours? Also, is this your first time here? True? Your first time attending one of these? Gotcha. So to give everybody ground rules that's coming in here, you need to give me your trade. What was the idea for the trade? And then I'll provide feedback. All you told me is that you got in at 116. I need to know what the idea was. Where's your stop loss? Where are you targeting? What's the idea of the trade before I can give you feedback? So you said your entry was at 116. Where's your stop loss? And what are you targeting? Also, for those who haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button or the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Stop loss is low of day, which is 115. No, you're 30 cents away. And 10. So you have about 10 minutes to make a decision on what you want to do. Because in 10 minutes, you won't be able to sell that trade unless they allow 24 hours trading. One, stop loss doesn't trigger after hours, so you're gonna have to manually sell at 115, assuming, or 115.33, assuming they fill it at that price. Number two, it's gonna be a weekend, so you better hope that it gaps up and it doesn't gap down, because then you're gonna take a loss that's even more than what you wanted. What made you get into the trade? What told you to go long at 116? So what told you to get into the trade at 116? I still haven't really heard the idea behind the trade. I have your stop loss and your target, but I still don't know why you got into the trade. Huge dip. Already a negative trade in my head. Hoping for a bounce and pray that 115.33 is the bottom from sell-off. So several mistakes here. First mistake is you use the word hope. Hoping is not a strategy, first and foremost. So you're basically gambling, and we don't gamble here. We take calculated risks. Number two, you got in on a bearish reversal day. So the trend, the short-term trend is bearish. The weekly's bearish. Yeah, pretty much a bearish day. I don't see any long setup at all. So feedback that I'll give you, number one, don't gamble. Number two, never hope and pray. That is not a strategy. If I were to get into the trade for a long, with shares, what I would probably do is enter in up here once it breaks Friday's high to confirm it's a bullish trade. This looks like a crooked W, kind of. Just there's a bunch of gaps everywhere. My stop loss would be under Friday's low. And I would be aiming for these highs as targets. And of course, the gap fill, then that high, that body, that high, so on and so forth. And then my stop loss will be down here. So just because something has a huge dip doesn't mean anything. It can keep on dipping. Like whoever bought over here at 122, oh, there's a huge dip from last week. Let me get in. It went lower before it came back up. And even then, they only broke even if they got in on this day because it reversed right back down. So don't hope and pray. If you need a working strategy, you're more than welcome to go to my YouTube channel, go to the playlist section, go to the strat playlist. That's pretty much the strategy that I use. It's the easiest strategy of all time. If you want some of the setups that I use, you can go to the playbook section. But hoping and praying, No more of that. If you do want to hope and pray, let me know what direction you're getting in on the trade so I can reverse you. You got in Intel. I know the Jerry. No problem. We have these trade recaps every 2 weeks. So the next one is going to be, I think, what's the next date? On Valentine's Day. Ooh, might need to cancel that one. We'll play it by ear if we'll do Valentine's Day. I don't want anybody's wife or girlfriend getting upset because they're on a call with me instead. We'll play it by ear. We might need to skip Valentine's Day trade recap. Intel. I don't really day trade Intel. I only swing trade it. So the ATR is only 75 cents. If you got in at 2008, the ATR wouldn't even have hit that target that you had. So if it's a swing trade, sure, you can see what happens. But I don't really like day trading stocks like that. Like Intel, Coca-Cola, I'd rather swing trade them. All right. I have 2 minutes until my session with a student. So what was everybody's biggest takeaway from today's session before we wrap up? Gandalf, I'll definitely have to catch you at the next one since we're wrapping up and have a session in 3 minutes. Usually I'll go over more trades, but I have a session with a student in 3 minutes. So what was everybody's biggest takeaway before we go enjoy our Fridays? Also, hello, Gandalf. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're well.
I know for my trades, mine was to take my profits and don't, even if, just trim it away. If I'm going to leave a runner, then leave a runner, but take my profits so I don't lose.
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely trim. Definitely don't move your stop loss. And Patrice, like, if I get into like a short, let's say up here like this like 2 down reversal, and let's say I'm targeting this low for the sake of the conversation, you can trail your stop loss, right? Like I'll do that sometimes for my other contracts or my runners. So once the candle closes, then I'll move the stop loss behind it, and it breaks that low. As soon as the candle closes, I'll keep on moving my stop loss, and I'll keep on doing that to squeeze as much as I can out of the trade until it reverses on me, which it did on this 3 candle. So even if this was my max target over here, if I wanted to squeeze somewhere out, I could just trail my stop under each closed candle until I get stopped out. But yeah, definitely don't move your stop loss preemptively and leave your trades alone. Let it pan out. The more you mess with your trades, the less you're going to be profitable, in my opinion and in my experience. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow for the chart and chill session, at least for those who are in my group and 100K's group, 11 a.m. Eastern time to about 1 p.m. Enjoy your night, everybody. I will see y'all, and I'll see you for the next one. Good night.